I'm not sure. Okay, it's being recorded. Okay. So what does it mean to be healthy? Hey, let me call names. I love this. Okay. Um, Ibukun, what does it mean to be healthy? What does health mean for you?
Good evening, doctor.
Good evening, Ibukun.
Okay. Okay, for me, it means to be in the body, the spiritual and body is in perfect states. The body is in perfect states, and everything about the body, everything about our physical state is in perfect shape. There's nothing is going wrong about it mentally, spiritually. We are just in perfect state. That is what health means to me.
Okay, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for that. I will also read, we have some comments coming in. Bolo says, when you're physically, mentally, spiritually okay, you can help yourself without being helped. Yinka says, not being unwell or in pain. Betty says, borrowing my secondary school definition, a state of complete physical, social, and mental well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. Okay, that's how you know the doctor is talking. All right. Okay, I think everything that we have said is very correct. To be healthy is, to be well, right? Not be in pains. And then it even goes beyond that, to be well spiritually, physically, emotionally, and just all ramifications. So a quick introduction. So WHO, the World Health Organization, has defined health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So what this means is that even if a person is physically well, right, there's no disease, they don't have any, there's no disease, there's no infection, there's nothing, but just mentally, they are not very well. They are maybe stressed, maybe socially, they are withdrawn, or because of something, not because maybe that's how they are normally. That person is not said to be healthy. All right. So health is very, it's a wholesome conversation. It's a wholesome it's a wholesome spectrum. It's not just one, it's not just, oh, I've not been to the hospital in maybe 1 year, but have you been happy? All right. Good health is about thriving in every aspect of your life. Every aspect. It's waking up every morning, with energy, ready to tackle whatever comes your way. All right. And like I said, it goes beyond the physical, mental, socially. All of those things are very important. And bringing it down now to our topic, when we talk about having an annual health check, what it is that you don't wait until you are sick, and maybe when you're in the hospital, you're like, doctor, since I'm here now for this sore throat, just do malaria, do full body check on me. No, your annual health check is a preventive care visit. It's scheduled, it is planned. All right, either with your primary care physician or with your GP. All right, and I'm using all of these terms because we have a varied audience. North America will most likely say primary care physician. People in Europe or the UK or Nigeria will say, oh, your GP, right? So it's scheduled, it is planned, and you schedule it at a particular time every year. So you don't want to do it January today, right? In 2024. Then in 2025, you do it in December. That's now 2 years. So even if you did it in 2024 and 2025, we'll look at the duration. So you want to, because it's supposed to be an annual thing done within, anywhere between 11 to 13 months. You have that schedule, you have that check where you go, and you are not sick. No, there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong physically that, oh, my body is hot. You are well. And so some countries will call it, oh, annual checkup, annual physicals, routine physical examination. Some people will call it a well visit. All right. But when you go, there are certain things that are done. So they will talk to you. Your doctor will speak with you. Your doctor will ask you questions. How are you doing? How do you feel stressed? Remember we are saying it's not just physical, mental and social is very important. So they will ask you, how is work? How is family? They will ask you all of those things. Then they will proceed to do a general, a physical examination. They'll first do the general one, then they'll do the systemic. So they'll go from system to system, press this, press your abdomen, listen to your lungs, listen, they would examine you. Now, when they are done with this examination, they would now begin to do some tests. But before we even go into the details of what your annual health check should look like, what are the benefits? Why are we even what is the use? Of what use is this regular health check to us? When you do a regular health check, what you're doing is you're 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 able to quickly detect health issues before they even arise. Because every single thing that happens in the physical, it's been building up. There's been a build up. All right. So even if someone says, oh, my body is hot, if you know everything that has happened in your body to get to that point where you have a fever, so many processes have gone on, for this fever to happen. And so when the Bible says that the life of the flesh is in the blood, that's why when you want to check it, so as any rema you want to get from that, even medically, the life of the flesh is in the blood. When you take the blood of anybody, you can tell, oh, how is this person? Just do a blood film, do a complete blood count. You can already tell the state of health of a person. So when the Bible says that the life of the flesh is in the blood, it is scriptural. All right. So benefits of a regular health check, you're able to detect issues. We are under a covenant of long life, a covenant of divine health, a covenant of strength. The Bible says that what is the lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and honor and strength and wisdom. So we have a robust covenant. He has given us everything that pertains to life and godliness. There is nothing missing. Everything, the full package is there. And so it is our responsibility. See, the Bible says we've been blessed with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places, but it is your responsibility to make sure you begin to walk in the realization of the blessings that you have been blessed with. And so the same way we have that, it is also a responsibility to take care of this body. The Bible says, know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost. So the care that you give for your body, you see a lot of us, oh, secure the bag. See this year, plans, 2024 plans, first quarter, second quarter, you won't see health check. You won't see. Q1 analysis. Well, how is the business doing? If your body break, have you ever slept in a funny way? And all of a sudden you realize that I have a neck, because your neck now starts to hurt so bad. And you're like, this neck, or maybe my waist, parts of your body that you've been using without even thinking about how you've been using the body. And then all of a sudden it's starting to give you signs. All right, so benefits of regular health check, you're able to detect issues very early. You're able to prevent diseases, and especially the common lifestyle diseases. So when we talk about common lifestyle diseases, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, all right, all of those things can be checked. I don't know if you guys, over the last couple of years, a lot of young people, you just say, oh, this person slumped, and that's the end. Oh, that person slumped, that's the end. This person slumped, that's the end. Before I left Nigeria 3 years ago, a lot of people I was seeing in my clinic, they will come in their 20s, hypertensive. All right, there is nothing wrong with being hypertensive, but are you on top of it? Do you know what is going on? It's very, I always wrestle when I'm speaking either as a doctor or as a minister, because what we're doing is ministry. So I just got checked now when I said there's nothing wrong with being hypertensive. And I'm sure you know what I mean, right? There are people that are living with hypertension. There's nothing wrong with them, right? Remember, we know what our covenant is with God, right? But remember that you have a responsibility to stand and be on top of your health. See, if you people do not take anything from me today, this market I came to sell, is that you have to be on top of your health. Be on top of your health. When you're on top of it, it empowers you. You're able to make informed decisions. You're able to take proactive choices. Maybe you do a cholesterol test. You're like, this cholesterol, where is it rising to? you now start to say, okay, let me cut down on my oil intake. Let me cut down, or you do a fasting blood sugar. You are not diabetic, nothing. But maybe there's a family history. Maybe your dad is hypertensive. Maybe your dad is diabetic. Maybe your mom, Then you start checking. You start making sure that you are proactive. You are proactive. A lot of the times we are reactive with our health. Is as soon as when it happens, we now start to take decisions. But no, we need to be proactive about decisions it will literally save your life. I remember one man that came into my clinic. He was in his 70s. He had been diagnosed with hypertension 40 years ago. I said, you're welcome, sir. How long? I was taking a history, first time in the clinic in Nigeria. Taking a history, he told me all the medication. I took his blood pressure, maybe 110/70, on point, 40 years, nothing. But you see some people, they just been diagnosed 2 years, and they are 50s, 2 years. They're like, doctor, no. And you start to counsel. They won't take their medication. Then they will land in the hospital because maybe they've had a stroke or they've had, a cardiovascular event. And it's now like, we didn't have to get to this point, okay? And again, peace of mind, cost effectiveness. You see the money you spend on this annual health check, depending on where you are. So if you may have health insurance, you may not. If you have health insurance, I promise you that it is part of your health insurance that even if you are not sick throughout the year, you have one annual health check. Even when I was in Nigeria, my health insurance covered that. I was checking in Nigeria. I've been checking since 2016. Every year. I was in my 20s. Every year, I'll check. All right. Over time, it helps to prevent, something that you could have nipped in the bud. And just with that little amount that you spend, now, if it boomerangs out of control, you now start to spend a lot of money. So benefits of regular health check, let's go quickly. Cost effectiveness, and then of course, at the end, overall health and wellness. Everybody is happy, peace of mind. All right? Okay, so what are these preventive screening? Dr. Kemi, we've been talking since. Let's get down to what we are supposed to be talking about. Oh God, I'm so theatrical. Okay, so what are these tests that we're talking about? You see blood pressure check. This one is just basic. It's just basic that at least if a person is not hypertensive, at least every 6 months. I don't even count it as annual. At least every 6 months. If I ask now, when last did you check your blood pressure? I'll have varied answers, on the group. When last did you check your blood pressure? When last? Just check, just know. And remember an annual health check is done when you are not sick, because it's very good for your health, for you to know that, okay, baseline, this is what my health picture looks like. It's so beautiful that you walk into a clinic. Maybe you're now maybe not feeling well. And you're like, oh, doctor, this is my blood group. This is my genotype. Oh, no, I'm not hypertensive. They ask you and you are giving them, what's your past medical history? You are giving them, those kind of patients, they make me happy. I'm like, you're on top of it, So blood, I'm seeing some comments. Gosh, let me see. Okay. Oh, last week, 110/70. Bolu, okay, nice. I love that. So, you know that they're on top of it. Full blood count is very important. And the reason why is because, like I said, the life of the flesh is in the blood. Your blood, when you think about blood, you just think about that red liquid flowing if you're not a health professional. But really, blood is made up of different components. So there's blood cells and there's plasma. The blood cells made up of, you have red blood cells, you have white blood cells, you have platelets. Then each of those white blood cells, you have basophils, you have eosinophils, you have neutrophils, you have monocytes, you have lymphocytes. You see those 5, they have different things that they do. If you enter into a room and it's dusty and you just find yourself sneezing, trust me, is one of them that have swung into action. All right? Your body is hot. So one of them has swung into action. I'm not going to go into all of the details of, this is not, I'm not taking you guys to medical school. But you know, and then you have platelets. If you start bleeding like this, you have a small cut, the blood is flowing, and all of a sudden you see that it's beginning to thicken up and form a plug. That's platelets. Your platelets are, so that platelet is just a component of your blood. And so when we look at a full blood count, we are trying to look at, okay, does this meet the required, okay, this person is anemic, or this person is having too much too much red blood cells, or what really is the issue? The white blood cells are too much, there's an infection going on here. So it begins to give you a picture of what is going on. All right. And remember, it is good for you to have it when let's just know what it looks like. Then lipid profile. Oh, you see this one. I cannot, if you don't do anything, lipid profile, because cholesterol, as we get older, and then with lifestyle modification, lifestyle changes, adoption of Western lifestyle, all the burger, all the, all the things that hypertension, then they'll say, oh, hypertension begins in people in their 40s, 50s. Now we are seeing it in 20s, 30s because of adoption of Western lifestyle, sedentary lifestyle. We don't want to walk anywhere. And what we fail to understand is that regular exercise alone, if you do 30 minutes, 3 times a week, every day, I'm talking about the kind of exercise that will get your blood cardio, it will get your blood pumping. You will just see that before you say jack, it helps to reduce cholesterol in the body. It drives the cholesterol from the blood into the cells. Just regular exercise, 30 minutes of cardio. All right, so lipid profile is like a profile of your blood, the cholesterol in the blood. So there's the good cholesterol, which is HDL. There's the bad cholesterol, which is LDL. You see that bad cholesterol, there's the total cholesterol, there's VLDL. We have different types of cholesterol. All right, that bad one, LDL, that's the culprit. That one, because what happens with cholesterol is when it starts to accumulate in the blood to the point that when you take the blood, you can see high cholesterol levels in the blood. What you're seeing is that over time, that cholesterol begins to deposit in blood vessels. So if you have a pipe, for example, and that pipe is free, all you are seeing is just you are passing water through it or passing liquid. The liquid is flowing, easily. But if you start to have sediments, maybe you put things inside the pipe, maybe little clay here and there. If you try to push fluid through it, it won't go as well. That's what cholesterol does. And so the body now starts to respond to, these are blood vessels. There are things inside that are occluding the free flow of blood. This is just one of the aspects, one of the ways by which hypertension develops. So that pressure to pump the blood, to push the blood through these vessels, high blood pressure, when the blood is pumping at a high pressure. And one of the causes, one of the culprits is cholesterol, high cholesterol. So very quickly, electrolytes, urea, and creatinine. This one is basic. So, we eat food, we take salt, sodium, potassium. When you eat banana, you're having potassium, your salt, all of that. All of those things are in your body, and they try to help to maintain the cellular metabolism, all right, in the body, just to uphold all of the cellular processes going on. All right. And electrolytes, urea, and creatinine, it's also called a kidney function test. So if you hear, for example, that, oh, somebody's kidney is failing, that is urea and creatinine. Those are the culprits. When urea and creatinine starts to accumulate in the body, because when you pee, when you go to the bathroom to poop, what you're doing is you're getting rid of all of these things, this urea and creatinine. You are getting rid of them. And so when it starts to, the kidney is not really filtering it well. So doing EU creatinine, that's what we call it. If you can do it every year, you're able to nip, oh, my kidneys are functioning well. We keep it moving. Especially when, and again, like I said, we're going to be having so many topics where we'll go in and explain a lot of these things. So I'm not even going to go in, I'm just hitting them one after the other. Liver function test is self-explanatory, like electrolyte, urea, and creatinine is kidney function. The liver function test will be checking all the various liver enzymes, right, to be sure that everything is at the level that they are meant to be. Blood glucose, that one helps with nipping hypertension, diabetes in the blood, especially type 2 diabetes, because obviously, like, that's usually the one that is as a result of lifestyle, all right, family history, okay? Maybe father has it, mother has it, sister has it. You want to just check once every year, just do a fasting blood glucose. Thyroid function test. You want to know, is my thyroid functioning well? all right? Retroviral screen. Just know your HIV status. We are not even saying, and again, this is really dicey because we're children of God. We want to believe that, oh, we've kept ourselves, we've honored God with our bodies and all of that. But just know. See, medically, they say, oh, if it's not documented, it's not done. So somebody can tell you, what's your genotype? I'm AA. My mommy told me I'm AA. Please, can I see a blood? Can I see a blood test that shows what your genotype is? A lot of people on this call, they don't even know their genotype. They have no clue. I did not know. I did not test. I always used to say, my mommy said, I was in medical school. So my friend was like, oh, what's your gender? I was like, oh, I'm AA. Oh, are you serious? What's your blood group? I said, I don't know. She said, how do you know your gender if you don't know your blood group? I said, oh, my mommy told me. She said, Kemi, are you at medical school? She entered my car. We are going to the lab. We are going to go and, and that was the first time I did my genotype, did my blood group, my resource, everything, did everything. And I knew from that moment. All right. So it's just good to know. If somebody wants to donate blood now, they say, oh, what's this person's blood group? So some of us have children. We don't even know our children's blood group. We don't know if, can I donate blood to my child? Can my child? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because it's not everybody. Some people are universal donors. Some are universal recipients, like me, AB. We just receive from everybody. All right. So you want to know these things. I didn't put those things here because they are not preventive screens. Those are like ones you just know it. You know your genotype ones, you know your blood group ones. But these are things that you should know. Like I said, be on top. If you take nothing from this presentation, please be on top of your health. Okay. So urinalysis, right? You want to know urine analysis. So urinalysis is just a compound word for urine analysis. Urine also tells us a lot of things. All right. If you are pregnant, if you've been pregnant, you will know. Once you want to do your antenatal, the first thing before the doctor even sees you, please, where's the urine test? Because it tells us what is in the blood, what is in the urine. All right. Do we have is there sugar there? Is there, you want to check ketonuria, are all of those things there? All right. Protein, is protein in the urine? We want to know. Pap smear, pap smear is important. It's very important. At least once every 3 years. Your physician will let you know, right? If they detect something, then they can tell you, oh, you need to do it one more time. You see pap smear. Pap smear is so important in preventing cervical cancer. Cervical cancer is something that is so preventable. It is very preventable because it takes a long time. It takes a long time for that HPV to convert until the cancer now starts on the cervix. So if you just do one pap smear, just one like this, you've already reduced your chance of having cervical cancer by, please, doctors in the house, it's been a long time. I think by maybe 70%. If I'm that 70 is even me downplaying it. Once you do one pap smear, you've reduced, because they will swap through all those cells on the cervix. Okay, so pap smear is so important. Schedule all these things. Then breast ultrasound scan or mammogram. I put that because one is, if you're younger than 40, you do a breast ultrasound scan. If you're older than 40, you do a mammogram. All right. This is yearly. You also want to know what your breast is like. If you're in your 20s now, the test that I needed to do with breast is just be checking your breast. Know what your breast feels like, so that the day you check a lump, what is this and where is it from? I removed my first lump at 16. Jesus, see me saying first lump, the only lump I've removed. I removed a breast lump. I was 16. I just finished secondary school. And so I just checked. I was like, what was this? And then from my knowledge of biology, I knew that when you're on your period, your body starts to change. So I was like, oh, is this period? Okay, let me wait for the period to go. The period went, the lump was still there. And so I told my parents, they took me to the hospital. And I remember the doctors being impressed. You are 16 and you're able to detect this lump. They said, they thought, I remember them examining me then in UPTA, University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. They turned to my parents and they were like, it's true, there's actually a lump there. Because I knew what my breast naturally felt like. Stand in front of the mirror, look at your breast. What does it look like? So that if there's an anomaly, it's so painful. When you see things that could have been nipped in the bud, stage 1 cancer, nip it, get rid of it. You see it, most times it's caught late. So remember, like I said, one of the benefits of this thing is early prevention. I need to really skip now. Okay, and then we also have colonoscopy. Okay, colonoscopy. Colonoscopy helps to, is like you look into the colon. You look into the colon. Colorectal cancer is a real thing now. all right? You look into the colon. So that's like a scope, you know, looking into the colon just to visualize what it looks like. Hope there's no growth. Hope everything is going well there, all right? So I tried to group it into two. This was just a really last minute one because I was like, let me just make sure that, you know, younger than 40, older than 40. I wish I could break it into even smaller bits, but this is just a general. Remember, I said, as we go on these talks every month, we will go in to these things, all right? So this is just everything I've said, but divided into two groups, younger than 40 years and older. Okay, so what are the healthy lifestyle habits? We remember, stay healthy, stay happy. Healthy lifestyle habits, balanced nutrition, eat well. What are the classes of food? If all you do, eba, rice, amola, eat your veggies, eat fish, you know, eat fruits, take fruits, make sure your food is balanced, your meal is balanced, all right? When you eat well, it shows in your skin, it shows in your body. Proper hydration, make sure you are drinking water. Minimum is 3 liters. 3 liters, that's, you know, ever bottle water, 1.5, 2 bottles, you're good to go. All right, regular exercise. Remember what I said, when you exercise for 30 minutes cardio, 3 to 5 times a week. That cardio is anything that you do that gets your heart pumping. So skipping, remember, I'm not talking about building muscle, losing weight. I'm talking about healthy lives. These are just habits that you form over time. All right, managing your stress, identifying, oh, what are the stressors in my life? How can I create a system that helps me minimize stress? Okay, because whenever you're stressed, there's a stress hormone. You know, when I tell you that everything that you see, there are things in the body that explains cortisol. It will be released. And when cortisol, when you are always stressed, cortisol is, you are allowing cortisol to constantly be released. The work that it does when it's constantly at those high levels, it has the work it does in the body that damages. All right, so managing and minimizing your stress, getting adequate sleep. And remember, adequate is relative. A lot of people say 1/3 of the day. I cannot categorically sit here and tell you I sleep for 8 hours, but I try to do 6. I try to do a quarter, 24. We have 24 hours. Okay, let me do 6 hours, you know. And that 6 hours, some days is a little less, depending on where I am in life, all right? But you just want to make sure that you have a habit of getting adequate sleep. Then prioritize self-care. Put yourself first. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, not more than. Love your children as you love yourself. Love your husband as you prioritize self-care. When you are on a plane, and you know, when they are talking to you, the what they call those people, the air hostesses, they're like, oh, if anything, emergency landing. I'm like, yeah, Titani. But you know, they say, oh, emergency landing. They will tell you, put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you help even your child. Because in the process of trying to help somebody, if you are not well taken care of, you can't help the person. A lot of us are pouring from empty tanks. I'm not even saying half full. Empty, as in otiton, no drop, empty. No rest for your soul. Your spirit is that, and we are doing Good Morning Holy Spirit. We are praying. Your soul, the prosperity of your soul is important. Okay, listen to your body. Your body tells you stuff. Listen when your body is warning you. A lot of us know when they come to the hospital, they say, so when did you have this? They say, oh, yesterday. I said, madam, how can you say that this thing just started yesterday? No, now, even me, I know that it did not start yesterday. The signs are there. Listen to your body and respond accordingly. Okay? I need to take questions, so we need to hurry. Overcoming barriers to care. What are the barriers to care? Dr. Kemi, as I'm talking to you, I don't have time. In fact, my calendar is booked until the end of the year. Even this, you see this thing that you are saying, I don't even know how to, you know, this is a barrier. How can we manage this lack of time? It still boils down to you prioritizing yourself. Then financial constraints, it's a real thing. Okay, financial constraints is a real thing. And this is where I advocate, if you can look for health insurance. We have health insurance packages in Nigeria. Maybe one of these days we'll bring somebody, I think I saw in one of the groups, somebody talking about health insurance. Maybe one of these days we'll bring one of all these, I'll look for somebody, especially in Nigeria, for our sisters in Nigeria, to talk about different health insurance packages so that we can have health insurance. You know, it's basic. It's just basic. But at least let me be able to get my annuals done. Then a lot of people have the fear or anxiety about medical visits. What will they tell me? You see, if you are empowered, you see this fear, it will be abolished. Because fear is not, remember that perfect love casts out fear. All right? When you are empowered, knowledge puffs up. There's something about knowledge that you know. So when the Bible says knowledge puffs up, it's bad, and it's also, it is good, because there is knowledge that you know that not puffs up that you are proud, but you just know that no, you are, so we need to overcome this fear or anxiety about medical visits. Then language or cultural barriers. I don't know how much this applies to this audience, but it could be a real thing, right? So, for example, I'm in the US. Maybe I go to see the doctor, and even they're trying to understand this English that I'm speaking. I'm like, so it's English I'm speaking. Why are you people doing like, is it until I speak this phonetics that you people can understand what I'm saying? All right. I remember the day I took my son to the hospital. I said, oh, he's having catarrh. The doctor said, what is catarrh? I said, catarrh. Qatar. Maybe if I draw the R, say Qatar. What? I say, oh, his nose is runny. He said, oh, runny nose. It's an American problem. Once you don't speak it in the way they understand it, they are not even trying to understand what you're saying. And the North American people on this call, maybe the PHI people practice, maybe you attest what I'm saying. Then there's white coat syndrome. You are just intimidated by the doctor. This Dr. Kemi knows, she's too much. She knows too much. So you're just there trembling. No, you sit down there, you talk with your physician. You talk to them. A lot of Nigerian doctors, they don't like it. If you know, you know. They don't like it, but it's the truth. Talk to them. Don't be intimidated. White coats. No problem. I know you people know well, but that's why I'm here. Because even me, I want to know as it pertains to me. Okay? 3 more minutes, I need to be done. Empowerment and advocacy. You must speak up. So that's where that white coat syndrome, I tied it into this. If you don't, and when do you speak up? If you don't understand something, or if something doesn't seem right, speak up. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to, some patients will come in, they'll say, doctor from Google. I say, oh yeah, Dr. Google. Let's just give you MBBS so that you sit in my chair and be, But again, it's still good to know that this person is on top of their health. All right? If they give you medical forms, so yeah, fill this form. What am I feeling for? Speak up if you are being confused with another patient. You can tell that, are you sure this doctor knows? Because, we are changing shifts. Don't think that this white coat, they know everything. No. We are human beings. They are constantly changing shift. The nurse there maybe the nurse has been tired. She has been on call for 6 hours. All right? Speak up. Nurse, this is my name. Are you sure it's me? All right? If you don't recognize a medicine, or you think you're getting a wrong one, speak up. You have allergies. I can't take ibuprofen or diclofenac. You people will think that somebody punched my face. Aspirin. And those NSAIDs, I can't take them. My face will swell up, as in my eyes will be gone. I'll be tearing up. And then it keeps getting worse. So they have me boldly on all my information here. Speak up about, oh, doctor, when you gave me this medication, I started noticing that I'm having this side effect. Speak up. See, you are having pain. Speak up. Some people, they go to the hospital. What did they give you? Oh, they gave me drip. What is drip? What is drip? When they give you intravenous fluid, just stand or read what is there. What are they giving your child? They gave my child drip. There's nothing like drip. And it's dripping, we know. But it's intravenous fluid. Know what is there. Is it glucose? Is it sodium? Is it saline? What are they giving you? Oh, they discharge you. So when are you coming back? I didn't ask, or I don't know. Follow-up care. Oh, doctor, I'm done with my annuals. When am I getting my results back? When am I going to have somebody explain it to me? Then they give you important information. You want to write down those instructions. You want to document everything. Okay? And so as I wrap up, because in the next 4 minutes, I need to open up for questions. Everything that we've been saying, is that we are prioritizing our health and well-being like never before. Your body is God's temple. You must take care of it. The Bible says, glorify God in your body. It is not a thing of glory for you to, be sick. And that way, it is your responsibility. Okay? You must glorify God in your body. And so, my call to action is everybody, please make a commitment that before this quarter, as we are doing the first quarter, second quarter, before this second quarter is over, like, you have to make a commitment. If you've not done your annual check, you've never done it before, please make a commitment to schedule one. Once you've scheduled it, just slide into my DM, say, Dr. Kemi, I've scheduled it. And then let me say this, because some people, especially in Nigeria, I didn't have a primary care physician. So I had a blood, and that's the power we have. Mikio, there are all these labs. We have somebody from WellMed, the manager of WellMed. She's in this PWC. That powerful women here. Resources. That's where Rafa girls, welfare team, love team. They were here for you. Rafa girls are here for you. You can walk in, take this test, request this test, go to Mikio, go to what are all the testing places in Lagos? Go there. You can request for this. That's what I used to do. I walk in there, ask for all my tests to be done. I'll have all my documents. I have everything. They'll email it to me. You look at it. If you don't understand, you can reach out to Rafa girls. We are here for you. All right. My work here is not done until I know that you have committed to, being on top of your health. So thank you guys so much. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Jeez. Monsoro. God have mercy. I talk too much. Okay, so please, questions. You can put the questions. See a lot of comments. What's going to happen? A manifest condition, but now you don't even know the diagnosis. God bless you, Dr. Betty. We don't even, you see diagnosis, we don't even know. I'm just looking at comments. See somebody saying, I always assumed I was AA until right before I realized I was AC. That's so true. All right. So the truth of the matter is that I'm glad for these conversations that we're having. But please, questions. What are the questions? What are the challenges that you've had with maybe being on top of your health? So we can tackle everything here. All the Rafa girlies, they're on this call. See, I'm not alone. If I'm giving you guys toxic stuff, they will unplug their mic now and tackle me. So please, if you have questions, hormone profile. That's very important. Hormone profile. I love that. Hormone profile. You want to do that too, all right? We have gynecologists on our team. We have pediatricians on our team. We have so many people on our team. Dr. Okoro, she's ready for all your children. They are in good hands, all right? So we have all those people. We have topics. In fact, the topics are too much. If we can be having health talk every week, we're ready for you. But we'll have it every last Saturday of the month, and we're really looking forward to everyone joining us because we must be healthy. We're not leaving anybody behind. Okay, so questions. People allow me talk too much. Questions.
Hi, good evening. I have
Good
a
evening.
question. I wanted to write it, but it was getting too long.
Please ask. I love that you're talking about it. So talk to us.
Okay. Okay, my question is this. Last month, my period lasted for 15 good days. 15 days.
Okay.
And I was so scared. I did not know what was happening. I was scared. God, do I have cancer? What this? Everything was just running through my mind. I went to the hospital. Doctor did a pelvic scan. He said though I had fibroid, but the fibroid that I had was too small to cause me overbreathing. Then he said he was going to do a smell test, and he ran a test, but yet he did not find anything. Though he still went ahead and treated me for infection, even though he did not find any infection. He gave me 2 injections, I gave me some medication. And the day after, I don't know, he gave me 2 injections one day, and he gave me some medication that he called, what do they call those medication? I don't know. I took some medication anyway. And then the day after I took the injection, my period came. And it's been on since then. And today is like day 14 now. And I called him back that there is no changes. That's why the injection and the drugs he gave me. And I finished all the medication. No changes. That was when he now said I will have to call for hormonal profile test. Because he did not
Yeah.
find any infection in my body. And he said the fibroid he saw in my system was nothing to worry about. That it was very small. I was worried about it. But he said I should just come for the hormonal profile test. Because I keep bleeding. Even when the
So
period has gone, I will still sustain. I will sustain after it's time.
Yeah, so I was going to say if you're not taking any contraceptives, because
No,
sometimes
I have never taken
never
anyone.
taken. Okay, so if you've
Yes.
never taken any contraceptives, if you know you don't have, you just notice that out of the blues,
I'm not
you
even
have a
sexually
period.
active.
Okay, okay, so definitely, so there's a couple of things that could cause that. It could be fibroids, it could be fibroids, right? And depending on the size or location of the fibroids, it could also be that there's maybe an imbalance in your hormonal system. But then they could do a hormone profile and also see that, you know, maybe I think the next step would be the hormone profile. So let
Okay.
him do the hormone profile, and then you can always just check with me or anybody on the team. And then we can always follow up with you as
All
well.
right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So I should
So
go
the
on with
normal,
his schedule for the hormonal profile. Should go to the
yes,
hospital.
yes,
Okay.
please. So let me just say this, that the normal period length, right, should be between 3 days to 5 to 7 days.
It
Anything
used to be
lower,
7 days for me
7
before when
days,
I
yeah.
started.
So 3 to 7 days, right? So some people could say if you're seeing your period for only one day, that's not it's not a good sign, all right? And then the duration between the interval between each period should be 21 to 35 days. So if you're seeing your period maybe every 2 weeks, so 21 days is 3 weeks, right? So if your period is coming at an interval less than 3 weeks, then there is a problem. Or if it's coming longer than 35 days, that maybe after you see your period today now, I remember you calculate your period the first day of the menstrual cycle. So it's not maybe the last day, the day one to the next day one is maybe 40 or 50 days. There's also so you want to go in and schedule a hormone profile just to see what your hormonal picture looks like. All right. So
Okay.
that's
All
also
right.
very important.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for that question. Okay, I have a couple of questions here. Somebody says, what age? Okay, let me go. So is there a list of tests to run quarterly or annually? I would like to have it so I can begin. I think we dropped that. That was in the slides. So this Abigail, I'm sure you joined in a little bit late, but I would probably go there before we leave. Let's quickly go. So what please do these tests checkup differ with age? Yes, we said generally speaking, you want to do, so there's the ones people that are younger than 40, and then I divided them broadly into two groups. So people younger than 40, people older than 40. And just the difference is just because so for example, when a woman is younger than 40, her breasts are not as they are more fatty than fibrous. All right. So, oh no, they are more fibrous than fatty. And so an ultrasound scan is better for the breasts of people younger than 40. But once you're 40 and above, you want to do a mammogram every year. All right. So stuff like that. Colonoscopy is for people between 45 and 65 or so. So 75, within that age. So if you're younger than 45, I don't expect you to routinely do a colonoscopy, except maybe there's a family history, then you want to maybe do it from 40. But you want to do a colonoscopy. Again, a lot of these tests, you may not need to repeat them like a pap smear. You don't do a pap smear every year because if everything is fine, you may do it every 3 years, all right? Until a certain age, I think 45, and then you start to do it every 5 years. I'm not an OBGYN, but I think I'm pretty much giving you the basic information. What age do you start an annual check? I would say, generally speaking, 25. If you're 25, you should, begin to schedule. I don't think necessarily you should start younger than, except maybe remember things like feeling your breast. There is no, I took out one when I was 16, right? So you want to know your body. And again, you want to listen to your body. So it's an encompassing conversation. You want to listen to your body. You want to know your body. You want to be on top of it. But with respect to annual checks and all of those tests that we listed, you want to start maybe 25, 26, 27, around that age. Is it normal for one breast to be bigger than the other? Yes, it is very, very normal. If you did blood checks during the year for other reasons, maybe some applications that require this, is doing an annual checkup that year still important? So if you have done a blood check, remember we said blood check is planned, is scheduled. So sometimes you may have a new position and they say, oh, we want you to do your annuals, right? Those annuals may pick the tests that are relevant to the job. So for example, I don't think they will do a breast scan for you if you are starting a new job. They don't care, right? There are certain things that they look out for. Is this person hypertensive? Does this person have any chronic diseases that we want to know that maybe may affect the person's performance? So if you look at our list or look at what you usually do with your physician, discuss with your physician. Again, this list is not all encompassing. You want to discuss with your physician how it pertains to you yourself, you as an individual, and then they will tweak and modify it for you, for yourself. All right. So if you've done an annual check and maybe they tick most of the boxes, it could suffice, especially if you have access to the results. All right. Because again, you want to be able to track what you keep your results. Don't just, oh, you've done an annual check, so that's the end. Then the next year you say, what was your cholesterol? That's it. Maybe we see what cholesterol is now. I have a couple of people that I'm like, I'm on them, right? So have you done your annual check? Oh, what your cholesterol last year and the one this year? Look at what's going on. You want to be on top of it. You want to check your food, so you are not just doing it because if you do it with the company and they don't give it to you, then yes, you've done it, but you don't really know, right? Because you're doing it to know. Remember, you're doing it to know. So I hope that answers your question. Is there, okay. My question is, oh, Bolu, so I see my period once in 2 to 3 months. I've done necessary hormonal test scan, still nothing. I noticed it when I was in school till I finished school. So some people have, there are different hormonal challenges, right? That people have. And because of that, it could affect, how they see their period. All right. So you may need to get a diagnosis for that because again, like I said, seeing your period once in 2 to 3 months, having excruciating pain where you are fainting, the person is fainting, is not normal. All right. So you want to maybe see a physician, get a diagnosis. And what I noticed is that with Black women, with a lot of the time, we're just expected to be strong. It's pain now, madam. Even when the woman is in the labor room or whatever, when you were doing, was I there? All those kind of things. No, pain is not normal. It shouldn't be normalized. All right. So you should keep poking. You should advocate for yourself until you get results. All right. Seeing your period once in 2 to 3 months is not normal. You may have done a hormonal test. It may be normal. The scan may say nothing, but you need to keep asking questions until you get an answer. So you may want to follow up with us. Okay. Does Jadel implant for family planning cause I don't know. Cause irregular menstruation? It could, all right? It could cause irregular menstruation. There are lots of, I remember when I had implanon in my arm, I became the woman with the issue of blood. I bled from October 2019 to June 2020. If I just cut a few days of dryness, total dry, maybe 2-3 days, all right. And then one day I got angry in my spirit. I took the communion. I said, Lord, you were bleeding so that I will not, like, you took I got angry. I took the communion. That was the last. So again, as we are spiritually on it, we are also doing what we need to do. All right. For me particularly, I was just terrified of, getting pregnant again. So I was just like, no, I would rather be bleeding. But I got tired of bleeding for almost 9 months, consecutively. So yes, those implants, Jadel, all of those things, Implanon, they just alter. They will just scatter everything. All right. How would you advise regular optical checkup? This is a very good question. So I'm not an optician, right? But one of my son, one of them uses glasses. So his current schedule is every year. And I think like nothing is wrong, we just go in and then they check everything, you know. So I'm not sure if maybe with children and adults it may be different. I don't think we have any optician, ophthalmologist on our team yet. Please, if you know one in PwC, encourage them to join us so that we can have these questions. But I think at least once a year is ideal. But as a person gets older, remember that there's a lot of things that goes on with eyesight, even just naturally. So Mfon, please answer the question. How would you advise regular optical checkup? My people are here, they are not leaving me alone.
Okay, so what was the question, please? Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. How would you advise regular optical checkup?
So you're correct. For normal checkups is yearly. Maybe if you
Yes.
have like refractive error, say short-sighted, far-sighted, near-sighted, all of those things, those are all combinations of refractive error. You check yearly. But if you have, say, glaucoma, it's every 6 months. So it depends on your condition, whatever condition, every 6 months, and then you ensure that you're taking your medications appropriately.
Okay. 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 Thank you so much. Thank you for that answer. Oh, and the one I love so much. How do we join your team? Of course. Please just send me a message on what they call that, WhatsApp. Eniola, please, your question.
Hi, Dr. Kemi. Thank you
Hi.
so much, and thank you to every member of your team. Love team, I love you so much. Okay, so I actually put down my question, but I think you missed it. So I have two questions actually.
Okay.
So the first one is about HPV after doing a is this cervical something screening. Sorry, I might not know the exact name it is called, but you know when they take a swab of your side of your cervix.
Yeah.
So and then it comes, okay, pap smear. So it comes back with positive to HPV, if that's the name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the question I have is, so I'm told I need to come back and do another test in like another year. Like they gave me like another 1 year appointment. So my question is, what should we do to reduce or to make the HPV turn negative? Because according to the response from NHS, I don't need to do anything. Just come back after 1 year. But my question is, what is the cause of HPV? Gun, because me, I don't understand. That's number one. Then number two, I've been having this back pain. It's been recurring, as in my waist down. Sometimes it shoots down my leg, my left leg. So the pain has been, it's a dull ache, but it's very unbearable, you know. I wake up with the pain, and sometimes when I sit down, it becomes unbearable that I have to stand up, and I have to be putting like a kind of alarm on my phone to help me stand up after sitting down for some few hours.
Okay.
So I've been to the GP and they gave me God. So I told the GP I've been taking paracetamol, but it seems like paracetamol is not working. I'm just trying to get the drug out. So so I was given naproxen.
Okay.
So to take, but I noticed that after taking that, it relieves me for a while and then it's back again. Right now, in fact, I have right now my back is aching me. I'm just lying down and using a pillow to like shock. Let me use the word our Nigerian word, shock the back, so that the pain reduces. So my question is, what can I do to reduce this pain, because I'm not enjoying it, and what can be done to make HPV count or the HPV tests turn negative? Thank you.
Okay, so let me start with the second question. So a lot of the time, I'm not sure what your work is like, but if you maybe sit for a prolonged period of time, maybe you work remotely or your work requires you like sitting, you know, for a long period of time, you may want to take standing breaks, all right? Or if your work requires you standing for a long period of time, you want to take sitting breaks. But there are a couple of things that could cause that kind of pain that you're feeling. There could be lumbosacral degeneration, even though that usually occurs in older people. But I would usually advise that you could do an x-ray just to know what's going on there. If they do an x-ray and maybe there's really nothing there, or it could be maybe a nerve being compressed, or, you know, it could just be something, maybe compressing on the nerve that is sending that shooting pain down your left side. It could also be an inflammatory process. So if it's an inflammatory process, that's when naproxen will come in, and then it will help with the inflammation. They will most likely tell you to take it for like a week to 2 weeks, just to give it some time to heal. And then when that happens, ideally you should feel some pain, but you also want to, avoid things like sitting for too long. If in fact, this is for anybody here. If your work requires you sitting for too prolonged sitting, please always take standing breaks. Stand, move around, come back. Then if it's also, if your work is flipped, where you stand for a long period of time, you also want to take sitting breaks. For yeah. And then for inflammatory processes, when you're taking like, usually I always say when you're taking things like naproxen or NSAIDs, which are anti-inflammatory medications, non-steroidal, you want to also take vitamin. Vitamin C is very good in helping to fight inflammation. So that's also very, very good. Yeah. So you want to take that. Some people also say, oh, maybe take high strength B vitamins. That could also be very good in helping. So we're going to be wrapping up. Your question is the last question we're taking, so we can wrap up. For HPV is usually sexually transmitted. But like I said, if ideally a pap smear, when you do it, they tell you to come every 3 years. But if they now notice that there is a problem, maybe when they swab through the cells of the cervix, then they will now say, come next year. So the treatments that they take, over it can go away on its own. It can go away. Because there's a couple of treatments, there's cryotherapy, there's a couple of things that they could do. But I'm sure for your physician to have given you a 1-year follow-up appointment, then they're on top of it. But just make sure that you go through with it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, the thing is, a lot of men carry HPV without, it very rarely affects them the way it would affect a woman when it's when a woman now gets it in, right? Because remember, HPV is what causes cervical cancer. So when left untreated, it could cause cervical cancer. So you want to be on top of it. So you're doing amazing. Thank you guys so very much. We have shot over our time, 7 minutes over our time. Thank you for your participation, for your rapt attention. I've really enjoyed speaking with you. I hope that you live here with a responsibility to be more aware and on top of your health by scheduling that annual check. So thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Why are you pushing us away?
Thank you too.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kemi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you,
Dr. Kemi.
Thank you.
Doctor, well done. Nice job.
Oh,
Congratulations on the launch. We have launched.
Yes, we have. Thank you. Thank you, my